All right, folks, I got a kind of two-parter video for you today, so a rare edit. I'm having to do that more and more. I wanted to do the first part of this video, kind of a tabletop review, so you can see the features of this product from VEVOR, which is a emergency air compressor. And then the second part, we're going to be outside. I've actually already filmed the second part. I'll have to edit this together after the fact. But I'll inflate one of the tires on my Challenger for you. And then I was going to just leave it at that and decided to torture test this by inflating an F350 oversized heavy-duty tire that this really shouldn't be used for, from 3 pounds to 32 pounds. Took about 7 minutes and ate up about half the battery. But I will add to that I also inflated all 4 tires of my Challenger. When you see that one tire, you'll see why. But basically, I had my car at Firestone recently for a tire repair, and they set all my tires to 36 pounds. My car is supposed to run at 32 pounds. So I took a key and I drained air out of all the tires down into the 20s and then filled up all 4 tires. It didn't even move the indicator on the battery to do that. So you're talking, somewhere between 4 and 6 pounds of added air pressure for 4 tires, standard size car, 15-inch tires. And didn't even blink at it. What I did with it when I put it on the F350, that, again, was a torture test. You'll see it. And only part of it, because I don't think you want to sit there and watch this noisy thing run for that long. And it is kind of noisy when it's in operation. But let's get a look at what we've got here. Okay, let's try to center the screen a little bit better for you. All right. So this is the unit as you get it. It also comes with this case. The case comes with some accessories. One is your air hose. It's pretty standard, easy to use. One side is a bayonet connector that plugs into the top port of the compressor. And the other side is your simple attach to your valve stem and screw it on. And so you've got that. Then you also get a 12-volt cable. This is not a charging cable. This is a rechargeable unit. It does use batteries. This particular model has 12,000 milliwatt amp hours. So that's great. It's a good long-lasting device, and it does double as a charging backup battery bank for your cell phones and tablets, which is great. But this, if you happen to allow your battery to go dead, it sat in the car, you forgot about it, and you had a dead battery or not enough battery, this cable's plenty long to reach wherever your unit would need to go on, a standard truck, a standard car. I don't think it would work with like an RV or something like that. And honestly, this should not be used for that. It also comes with a USB-C power cable for charging. And that's actually, I didn't put it back in the case. It's about a 18-inch long cable. It plugs in right here in this port. And in doing so, it will allow you then to charge the battery, which, unless you have like a rapid charger, does take quite a while because it's a fairly large battery. It's got 2 pistons inside it. It also has a built-in flashlight, which is really nice, which seems to be when you're filling up a tire, actually goes on a light strobe. And that is probably a safety feature because you might be on the side of the road doing that. So that seems, I was not able to find a way to turn that off. It's actually really easy to use. There's a center power button. If you don't read the instructions, which I never do at first, I always try to just see how intuitive it is. You might not be able to figure out. You actually have to hold, if you just push it, nothing happens. Hold it down for about 3 seconds, and it will turn on. Once it's on, you're sitting here and you're looking right now. This is set for trucks at 32. There's trucks, there's cars, there's balls, and there's like motorcycle and bicycle that you can scroll through with your setting button, which is this button right here. And what's nice is you can preset it, and whenever you turn it on, it's going to go to the last one you did. So I just set it for vehicles, 32 pounds. That really fits my wife's truck and my car perfectly. This is going to go in my wife's truck when this is all over with. I have a VEVOR, really heavy-duty air compressor, like you could shoot nails with it, portable air compressor for my car because I had it for the truck and the RV when we used to have an RV. So since I have that, I'm going to give her this. The nice thing for someone that may not really know a lot about cars and maintenance and stuff is if you preset it for them, when they turn it on, now you can, change it just by tapping it. But if at least it comes on the air pressure setting that it should be on, when they see that number, they'll know that's where they need to be. Once you have your bayonet connector installed and you're hooked up to the tire, this number up here will actually show you what the current tire pressure is. You'll hit the button, just one good hit. You don't have to hold it down when you'll see that in the next part of the video. It'll turn on and it'll begin running, and it'll run up to whatever the setting is, and it'll shut itself off. You can see here on the battery indicator, it says the battery is fully charged. I don't think that's accurate, and I'm going to recharge it. It was showing a half charge while it was being drawn down. Again, you'll see that when you see me inflate the F350 tire. So it definitely used some battery, but it's got a lot of reserve in it even after that. So that was 4 tires of 4 to 6 pounds each, plus 1 tire from 3 pounds to 32 pounds. And that's a tire that this thing should not even be messing with. And again, it does have a flashlight. Now, I would still make sure that you carry a good emergency flashlight, but having, and that you could do it on a flash or off. Having that built into this just really makes sense. I mean, it's a couple little LEDs. It's pretty dadgone bright, and there's a good chance you could be using this at a time when you are stuck on the side of the road, and maybe you don't want to be holding a flashlight in your teeth while you're trying to control this gizmo and what have you. I want to talk a little bit before we go to the other part of the video about what the purpose of a tool like this is. This is not something that you would inflate tires with on a daily basis. It can be used as a backup power source for mobile devices, but I would use that kind of in an emergency. You forgot your backup power or whatever. This is sitting in the car. For whatever reason, you don't want to plug your phone into your car. You want it to be with you. You could have this giant brick with you. It also has another cool feature. It has this little, let me get back down here. It does also come with a couple adapters, like for whatever the heck this is. It's a reducer fitting. I guess some things maybe will work with this. And then I know what that is. That's for inflating like soccer balls, basketballs, footballs, etc. And they come in this case, but I decided to put them right in this little compartment because that's the only purpose for this little compartment I can find. These are about $68. They make some that are smaller as far as amp hours, and they don't have the dual compressors. I think one of them's like 30 something bucks and the other one's in the 20s. I would recommend, unless money's really a big issue for you, that you go ahead with the larger model with the greater battery reserve capacity. If you're driving like a Honda Accord or something like that, and you want to buy one of the less expensive ones, we have 2 cars, you can't afford 2 of these, and you want to buy the lesser ones, you're probably better off doing that than not having a solution for this. Everybody should have some sort of emergency way to air up tires, especially, when your tire's low, but it's not flat. It's going to hold air for a while. You need to get home. You need to get to a shop, whatever. These are lifesavers. You don't want to change tires on the side of the road. I don't care if I'm a man. I know what I'm doing. Yeah, when you get hit by a semi truck, you're dead. I don't care what kind of man you are. The other thing is this case is actually pretty roomy. And while the bottom is completely filled up by the device, when you put these cords and hoses back in here, there's actually quite a bit of reserve space on this side. I am going to put in this case a small pair of Knipex pliers because they're very versatile, a small crescent wrench, a multi-tip screwdriver, and I'm going to put a pair of some wire cutters or EMT shears or something like that. I always keep a good vehicle kit anyway, but it's always good to have redundancies. You never know when that might be exactly what you need. And this should be somewhere you can get to it quickly and easily in your vehicle. So I think this has potential to not just be a great compressor and emergency backup for that, but part of a larger kit for your vehicles. Everybody should have a reasonable amount of supplies in their vehicle to stay safe, to get home, to get by if you need to for a while before you can get home. And I think this goes in there. Now let's go outside and check out things in the field and see how this thing actually works. All right, filming outside always comes with noise, so I wanted to keep this brief out here. So I did a tabletop part first. We're hooked up. See, this tire's at 29.5. Oh, we need it on 32. I had it preset. I hit the button while I was working there. So 32 pounds. I just had this car at Firestone, and they fixed a leaky tire for me. Then they, redid all my air pressure, and they set all my tires at 36 pounds. These tires in my car, it says right on the tires, rated no door, 32 pounds. Good job, Firestone. Anyway, what I'm gonna do, I already just drained the tires long enough that I knew I'd be below the 32, and I'm gonna put them back on 32. Down here you see 32, the lower number, this is your setting. Your higher number, that's where your current pressure is. Once hooked up, hit that center button. It's on flying and compress. It runs a little bit after it hits target, but stays at target. That's because it knows when you go to undo this, you're probably gonna have a little bit of air loss. That goes back to 0. And you're not sitting on the side of the road. And remember, one of the coolest things about this guy is, if you, let me get over here where the sun isn't hitting the screen. If you do have a dead battery, you just take that 12-volt adapter, which has a very long cord on it. Certainly would reach the tires of any car or standard size truck. And you could still use it even if the battery's dead. You can use it to charge cell phones. It's got a flashlight on it. It's a great little unit for the price. One of these, or at least one of its little brothers, belongs in every vehicle if you don't have a solution for this already. Remember, there are links, discount codes, all kinds of good stuff down in the video notes. And I'll catch you later, guys. So anyway, I thought I would give this a bit of a challenge here, way beyond what I think this should be used for. This old F350 is not running a long time. This tire has a leak. It was down to 3 pounds. I ran this little compressor nonstop for 6 minutes. I put a timer on it to see if it could get it to 32 pounds from 3 pounds in 6 minutes. It almost did it. It got us up to 31 pounds. We'll go ahead and finish her off real quick. So anyway, that got us to 32 pounds, all in about 7 minutes. You could hear it really struggle in there. These are big tires on this truck. I do not recommend, if you have a truck or an RV or something with tires of this size, that you use a little compressor like this. That was really pushing it. I don't recommend running it nonstop for 6 minutes the way that I did. I mean, just walked around and set a timer and figured I'd come back and see if it was done. And you're really putting a lot of heat into something this size in a case and doing that kind of work. But you know, it would get you off the road. Remember what these are for. These are not for, you know, sitting in a shop and using as your primary compressor. These are for getting off the side of the road. So even though that took it to 32 pounds in about 7 minutes, you probably wouldn't be that low. But even if you were, what do you need? 20, 24 pounds, and you would be safe to get to the tire shop or to home or wherever you can do better repairs. So I'm really impressed. It is kind of warm. It burned up about half the battery power running nonstop like that after I fixed all 4 tires on the Challenger. So that's actually really impressive, and it is kind of an impetus to think about buying the better piece of equipment. Kind of upping the game a little bit and buying the one that's a little bit more expensive with more amp hours of battery storage. Again, links, write-up, discount codes in the video notes.